Thank you.
ค่ะ What we will be doing tonight นะคะ we will be doing Q&A นะคะเป็น interview แล้วก็พี่อยากให้ตอบlike short interview questions in the beginning แล้วก็expanded นะคะเป็นบทสนทนาตามหลังฉะนั้นคำถามที่ส่งให้ก่อนเนี่ยก็เอาตอบแบบสั้นๆสรุปซะก่อนแล้วเพื่อที่จะ edit เป็น short video นะคะแล้วก็เดี๋ยวรอสัญญาณว่าพี่อ้นให้พร้อมเมื่อไหร่ก็จะได้เริ่มได้เลยค่ะอ่ะก็บัวหันกล้องยังไงให้พี่อ้นแนะนำน้องหน่อยค่ะว่าให้วางกล้องยังไง
เอ่อเอาแบบหน้าตรงก็ได้ค่ะสะดวกไหมเอ่ยแบบโอเคได้ค่ะโอเคได้ค่ะตอนนี้พี่อ้นกด record ไปแล้วนะคะแล้วก็เดี๋ยวพี่เข้าใจอาจจะเริ่มสัมภาษณ์เป็น short script ก่อนก็ได้ค่ะแล้วก็เดี๋ยวในระหว่างที่คุยกันก็อาจจะมี audience ท่านอื่นๆเข้ามาเขาก็อาจจะได้ฟังในช่วงที่เป็น long interview อะค่ะโอเคค่ะเชิญเลยค่ะ
Hello all, this is Kaewjai Naksakun. I'm one of the senior advisors at AR, the Agency College Recruit. Welcome to the AR exclusive interview series. Today we will be meeting Nynn Puttisombat or Gor-Bua. Gor-Bua, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Nynn Puttisombat, or you guys can just call me Gor-Bua, and I am currently studying in the UK at Cheltenham Ladies College, and I've just recently received my offer from Johns Hopkins University, and my sport is dressage or horse riding.
Okay, so you will be going to Johns Hopkins. So that's one of the world's top universities in medicine. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
will you be majoring in medicine?
Well, because it's in the US, if we were to major in medicine, we would have to do pre-med first. So my undergrad option or major is biomedical engineering. So I hope that it would really lead me into the medical field later on as well.
What is the most important factor for choosing this school?
Um, I think because I do sports as a hobby as well as also take my academics quite seriously. Um, I wanted to be able to excel in academics and sports, and so I decided to focus more on academics as in my opinion, I feel like sports is something that you can do everywhere, and as long as you have the heart to do it, you can adjust your timetable to do it anywhere in the world. So regarding academics, I really like the fact that Johns Hopkins had their own medical school and their own hospital, which really fitted with what I was looking for as a pre-med major.
Okay, next question. What are your career goals and goals in life?
Well, in terms of career, I feel like I really want to do something in the medical field, whether that be I might end up being a doctor or just sticking with biomedical engineering and um, somehow making an impact in that field. For example, developing medical equipment to help um, with treating like I don't know rare genetic disorders or any trouble that they're having at the moment. And I feel like in terms of sports, I would really want to continue my riding because I feel like I've done it so long in my lifetime that it's a really big part in my life and it would feel really empty not to do. And so at the moment, I am aiming to represent Thailand internationally and maybe looking into like competing in the Olympics as well.
Big goals. So, what's the best part for pursuing bachelor degree in the US, in your opinion?
Definitely their flexibility because I feel like their majors, even if you apply as a certain major, there's not really a fixed like schedule that you have to stick with this for the whole of 4 years. You can transfer to different majors. You can explore other subjects as well as the core subjects that are required for your major. So I really like that factor of the US where you can explore other areas that you might be interested in and not like only focus on, what you want to do in the future. And also, especially with sports, I feel like a lot of unis in the US take sports really seriously, especially if you're going to be representing their uni. They are really supportive in like your competitions, your aims, and like what you want to do in terms of training as well.
Great. Next question. Who is your idol or who has the most important role in your life?
I think in terms of riding, my idol for riding would probably be Isabel Worth because at the moment she's I think 55 years old and she's still going to all the Olympic games. She's gained like 8 gold medals in the Olympic Games and the fact that she doesn't rely on her fame to get like the best horses. She actually develops them from a young age and not particularly like focus on the price of each one. She would rather like train them from what she has learned throughout the years. And I think that is something very valuable to have as a athlete to like be able to use your own skills and just like learn through the process and see how what you have learned in the past uh can be able to develop young horses into amazing world champions. But in terms of um who has helped me throughout my writing journey, I think my role model would definitely be my mom because she has a full-time job, but she's also managing to take care of me and my brother and support me through my writing. She's had to invest in a lot to be able to get me to where I am today. And she's also supported me academically and um, in sports as well.
Okay. The last question for the short interview. How did AR help you?
Well, I approached AR to uh, possibly go through the student athlete recruit process because initially I was very invested in being a student athlete in the US because I thought that it would help me continue riding. However, throughout the process, I've also learned that um, sports is something that you can do throughout your life and you can do it anywhere. And so then this is like my personal experience, I decided to choose more of the academic way. So I didn't necessarily enter Johns Hopkins as a student athlete, but AR has helped me and supported me throughout the whole process with checking if they have any stables nearby or like if they have any riding teams, their coaches, their sports facilities. So they've really helped me on that side to support me through my riding, even though I did not apply as a student athlete.
All right, Ka. Um, Now here's going to be the extended interview. Would you like to separate the recording คะอ้นหรือว่าจะ record
ด้วย
ต่อกันไปเลย
ค่ะรวมไปเลยค่ะแล้วก็เดี๋ยวค่อยไปตัดทีเดียวค่ะ
Okay,ค่ะ. Now I think we're going to be repeating some of the questions we asked earlier, but here will be more of a conversational. So let's just start by now. I would like to start by congratulating you for getting committed to Johns Hopkins. Basically, that's one of the world's top schools in medicine. And so that big congratulations from the team at AR. Now, you're not only good in school because you're entering Johns Hopkins, but you're also very good at sports. And your sports is horseback riding, dressage, horseback riding, right? Tell us more about that.
Well, I started riding at the age of 5, and so I've basically been riding my whole life, and it is a really big part in my life. And in terms of dressage, dressage is just a sub-discipline in equestrian. So in total, there's around 4 or 5 disciplines, and dressage involves basically dancing on the horse. And I think what I was really drawn to in the sport was how you could look so like artistically beautiful, but also have to have so much strength to be able to ride a like I don't know 3,000 kilogram animal, or like they're just amazing beings to be around as well. And to be able to do a sport where you can also have a pet and a best friend at the same time is also something I really love about horse riding.
That's wonderful. For those who join, we are having a special interview with Nynn Puttisombat or Gor-Bua, who is going to Johns Hopkins this fall, 2025. And being a sportsman, equestrian sport is it's new to a lot of people here. So it's quite interesting to know how you started taking up horseback riding, or who inspired you to take up this sport.
Well, how I started was quite a coincidence because my cousin actually invited me to go when I was 5 years old, and it was more of just like to find a fun activity to do on the weekend. But I ended up going, but my cousin didn't end up going. So it was just me riding in that ring on a pony. And I think at the end of the lesson, my mom had asked me if I enjoyed it. And of course, I said yes. And I think what really helped my mom realize that it was something that I was going to stick with for a long time was the fact that it was one of few things that I picked up by myself without copying what my brother did. Because before horse riding, I would do whatever my brother did. I would look up to him as a role model. I would basically be his clone, like be his shadow. That I think it he also started to get annoyed. So my mom was really glad that I could find an activity that I enjoyed.
Okay, so you're taking the lesson seriously and then you start competing as well. How old were you when you start competing?
Um, I think I was around 6 years old at my first competition. Yeah. So 1 year after riding, I really wanted to compete because um I think I remember seeing like a YouTube video of a world champion rider, and I just thought it was really cool. And I saw like how she was on the podium getting all these ribbons and medals, that I wanted to experience that for myself as well. But of course, because it was my first competition, it didn't go quite as I thought it would, but it was a fun experience.
What does it take for a girl 6 year old to compete in the sports? I mean, what are the skills required to be competing? And you do dressage from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, well, I think especially for a 6 year old, the biggest part was the fact that I just loved riding and I enjoyed being on a horse's back. It was just really fun to me. And so I think that was what was like the biggest drive behind what made me continue riding until today. But I think if in terms of skills, I think riding really helped improve my focus and really helped me understand like reality, accepting what happens in life. Because and maybe it's probably the same with like every sport, because especially in competitions, you will win, you will lose sometimes. So to be able to accept those drawbacks in your journey, but then getting the motivation to step forward is something that I think every athlete should acquire as a skill.
I understand that in the beginning you go to the stable, right? And you don't have to own your own horse, but you ride your regulars. How many horses do you ride regularly?
Well, at the moment, I ride one in the UK, and in Thailand, currently I own three, which I ride all of them when I go ride.
So part of your sports is actually taking care of the horses, which is different because other sports they are basically take care of the cleanliness of the golf clubs or the racket and things like that. But you're taking care of a living, horse. So tell us more about your routine.
Well, as I said, because this sport involves basically having a best friend, having a living creature that works with you as a partner. There's definitely an aspect of having to understand each other, which I think taking care of them plays a big role in that because in the process of taking care of them, that includes picking up after them when they've gone to the toilet, cleaning up their stalls, changing their bedding, feeding them, looking after their nutrition, maybe like adding some vitamins to their feed to help them, like how we look after our nutrition. It's so that they could also perform their best when we can perform our best as well. And showering them, especially in Thailand with the heat, we need to look after their well-being as well as the heat. As in Thailand, it isn't like a normal sport to do, and horses aren't like originally based in Thailand. So we have to look after their mental state as it is a really big change when they come over from like European countries. And I think even though it is a lot to do all at once, because you have to do all of like the grooming, brushing them, tacking them up before you ride and after you ride. But I think after just spending time with them, it takes away all that tiredness and just makes it fun.
I think that helps with during the competition or you have to talk, communicate
Yeah.
to the horses. That's a key success factor, I would think, because dressage is like a performance, right? You have series of things to do, so you have to communicate with the horses, and so that's like a lot of training, I would say. How many hours do you train
Well, currently,
a
because
week?
I go boarding in the UK, I would do 2 hours a day. And if there's no competition, I would do 3 days a week. However, if there is competition, then I basically do every day leading up to the competition, or like at least 4 days a week leading up to the competition.
Wow. And so tell us about your achievements so far. You've done competition since 6 years old. What's your proudest trophy?
Um, well, I think my all-time favorite would be the Thailand Championships, my first ever Thailand Championship title that I won when I was 9 years old. So back in 2016 with my first pony. I think that big achievement really helped me, really pushed my like self-esteem and helped me build confidence in riding and seeing how I can actually make something out of this hobby that I had. And I think currently my other proudest memory that I have for competition is being able to compete in the UK under Thailand, like being able to represent a rider from Thailand and competing in shows in the UK. I think that's just a really big step forward, especially because horse riding is not a common sport in Thailand. I really enjoy like showing people in Europe that there are riders in Thailand and we're not like lacking in any way.
Exactly. I think that the word uncommon is exactly what I had in mind because we can see it on TVs, from overseas competition, but we don't know that we have lots of great athletes in Thailand. And in horseback riding, there are like the jumping, right? The jumping and the dressage, which is what you are competing. What do you think are the challenges that faced you in your journey, aside from working on or training on a sport that is uncommon in the country?
Um, I think the largest bit that riders struggle with the most is the fact that it's a very unpredictable sport because we are partnering up with a living animal and they are prey animals as well. So in every single competition that we do, in every single ride that we do, none of the rides are the same. There's going to be something that's different each time, whether that's good or bad. It depends on the day again, as because they are prey animals, they're very aware of their surroundings. They're very jumpy.
Mm,
They're scared of a lot of things. So basically, we never know what's really gonna happen. Even if like in the warm up ring, like your horse looks perfect and like has done everything perfectly. When you go into the actual competition ring, like it could be the complete opposite from what they were doing like 5, 10 minutes ago. And I think that's something that we really struggle with in terms of having to accept that this is like a big factor of our sport and just moving past that fact and really just enjoying the time that we get to spend with the horses. Yeah.
so on your journey from competing, and you decided to take up medical science, uh, how many schools have you considered before you end up with Johns Hopkins, and what are the key decision factors?
Um, well, I looked at quite a few, especially because I am based in the UK at the moment. And so then UK unis was also a big part of my list as I was considering continuing to ride in the UK and also learning at the same time. However, I realized that there isn't as much flexibility in the timetable in the UK. And so then I started searching for unis in the US where I looked at unis that would um, line up with my academic dreams, you could say, and what I wanted to do career wise, like in the medical field, but also looking at unis where they would have like student athlete dressage riders. For example, like I had an interview with a uni for dressage. However, because I do take my academics seriously and I knew that I wanted to do biomedical engineering in the US, they could only offer me like a biology degree or like something that wasn't what I wanted to do. So when I had to choose between doing being a student athlete or going towards my academic dreams, I chose to go towards my academic dreams because um I feel like sports, again, as I said, sports is something that you can do if you really have the heart to do it. You can do it whenever you want to. You can adapt your timetable, you can adjust your lifestyle to be able to do it. And so I took the opportunity and the risk to apply to like higher ranked unis, Ivy Leagues. Um, and because I was also aiming to be a doctor, I chose Johns Hopkins in the end because they're renowned for it. Yeah.
And do they have veterinary science at Johns Hopkins? Is that one of your uh, choices?
Um, well, I didn't really look into veterinary science, but I think growing up, it was definitely something that I was looking into. However, um, I think my parents may have also played a part in making me choose to be a doctor more. But anyways, I'm happy to help any living creature. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you would do great because of your academic achievements as well. So, but moving first in Thailand, you moved to the UK to pursue high school as well as ride horses there. and now you're moving to the States. How you envision your life change, and you will be by yourself again this time, right, in the States?
Yeah. I will be by myself again, but I think it was a really good call to move to the UK in my last 2 years of high school because it's kind of like an eye-opening experience to like get me used to boarding life to living alone. And so I don't think in terms of living alone it'll be that big of a change, especially because my brother is also based in the US right now. So I will have family members there. But in terms of riding, it will definitely be a big change as a lot of the dressage going on in the US is near Florida and like California. It's like basically not in the state that I'm going to. And so um, I think if I were to continue riding, I'd really have to look into maybe going during the holidays or maybe even flying back to the UK during my breaks or like holidays to train. Yeah.
So it will be a challenge, but as you mentioned earlier, you can ride anytime. It's
Yeah.
still there, and it might be difficult to compete while you're studying because you're studying medicine is going to be hard work anyway. But life is going to change, and you're going to miss your horses. But what do you think will be exciting things waiting for you?
I think definitely friends, making new friends, finding people with the same passion. And I know a lot of people in the US also do riding, even if it's not dressage. There's definitely a common ground in the riding community. So I'm definitely excited to meet people like me there.
Okay, great. And since I would consider you have achieved so much, have lots of success both in academic and in the sports world. Um, for you yourself, what do you consider a success?
Um, I think it might sound cliche, but for me, success is when I'm able to do what I want to do and when I'm able to follow what my heart wants to do. So personally, that's to be able to excel academically and also do what I enjoy in dressage and being able to do both things at once, even though it is tiring. But I feel like being happy and content in what I do and living my life is definitely success to me.
Right. I think it will come your way. What do you think, or who do you think is your biggest support? What kind of support you think is the most important to you from your family or your coaches?
Um, I think definitely both. As with my family, they have really helped me in showing me that there is a path to go when doing both academics and sports, that I don't have to choose one way or another if like I'm doing okay in both. And in terms of coaches, they have really supported me and helped me excel and improve in my skills and just always supporting me even when competition has not been great or even in the setbacks in trainings when it doesn't seem like I'm improving, but they're always there to like help guide the way and help give me motivation that no, like you're doing the right thing. You've just got to continue doing it. And one day, like you will get there in the end.
So I have to ask them, what about AR? How has AR guided you uh, and support you to be where you are right now?
Well, as I said, I additionally came to AR to consult about being a student athlete. But even when I decided to not apply as a student athlete, AR has always been there by my side to help find opportunities for riding in John Hopkins in America, helping me contact the coach in different unis, even in Ivy Leagues that uh, that I didn't even apply to. Like AR has been helping me get information from all the unis that I needed. And um, also meeting Uncle George in person was also really nice as my he also helped my brother adjust into uni. Just like it's a really friendly community, that's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like what I really appreciate about AR is the fact that they're ready to support me in like any inquiries that I have in any way that like I needed help in during my applications. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice to hear. Last question would be, what advice would you give to younger students who would like to follow your footsteps, either on academic or in playing sports?
Um, just believe in yourself, basically, because nobody knows you as well as you know yourself, and nobody knows what you want to do as well as you know what you want to do. And just like follow in what your heart says, because I believe that if you have the motivation and like the determination, and if you put in the effort to do what you want to do, whether that be even just choosing only sports or choosing only academics or doing both like me, I think in the end, if you really put your mind to it, you're gonna be able to excel in whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gor-Bua, for spending time with me, talking about your path in sports and in education. Uh, I'm glad that AR has been part of your journey, and hopefully we'll stay connected. And congratulations again for your achievement for getting committed to Johns Hopkins. I hope you had fun in school and get time to ride your horses as well. Thank you and best of wishes.
Thank you.